Hello everyone, welcome back to Wurm Unlimited. Today we are going to be going a little bit further than the tutorial. We're going to be talking about, well, getting started after the tutorial, what you should be doing next if you want to, and how to do it. That'll basically be covering picking out somewhere to start if you want, or somewhere to live if you don't want to live in the starting village. Crafting your first sets of items to skill up, and what you need to do to build a house. And I am here on a custom map that I've made myself, my own server, so it's quite a bit different from the local servers that you can set up yourself, unless you of course go and make your own map and put it in, but I won't be going through that. There's plenty of tutorials online. So I don't have a map anymore. This is the map of the Freedom Islands from Wurm Online. That just defaults to that because I don't actually have a map put in. Bear over there. And this is where I live for now. I haven't yet set up a settlement deed yet. There's this guard tower over here. This main starting village of I'm in Moraine, and the main starting town for Moraine being Hearth that I decided to make is somewhere over there in the distance beyond the hill. There are trees on that hill. It's not all just barren. It's just they don't draw in at this range. And since I made the map myself, I had to place in all the starting towns and make them starting towns. And I also, using an admin character, or 3 actually, 1 for each kingdom, and I put a couple of extra guard towers along the bank of the estuary, I suppose it is, so that I could set up my own guard tower up there on top of that hill where that pile of cedarwood logs is. I've got the beginnings of a guard tower so that I can actually set up a village, because you can only set up a village inside your kingdom's influence, and influence is spread by guard towers. I'll probably go and get rid of the couple of extra guard towers I put down on my admin character, just so they're not there, so I can have my own little isolated village. And by village I mean house and farm. We'll go through that later. This is where I'll be building my house. You have to flatten the area out and pack it before you can start constructing a house, but we'll get to that later. First of all, location. Your starting location will want to be somewhere where there's plenty of wood. The bigger trees would be better, not like the fruit trees, not things like apple, cherry, lemon. Those trees don't give enough wood. The bigger trees like oak, cedar, maple, pine, birch, they're good trees to sell around because they give plenty of wood. You need 24 kilo logs, or you need 24 kilo logs to make wooden beams. A wooden beam takes 20 kilos of wood, and wooden beams are used for constructing walls for your house. But a good location to start with would be trees, somewhere near water, so that you don't have to run particularly far to drink. I mean, unless you have a well, but you will only be able to get a well after establishing yourself somewhere, making a pendulum for finding a water source, and then actually building a well. You want to be near a mountain for iron, because you need iron for nails and other metal tools. Like if you want to build something out of stone, like a guard tower or a stone walls for your house, you'll need a chisel. and a chisel is made out of iron. I've got one here, stone chisel. Not good quality because I was in a hurry. You want clay, and you want sand. Got sand over there by the guard tower. Clay for building timber framed house, and clay and sand for building stone houses because it requires mortar. And clay and sand is mortar. I have my own little mine here that I opened up with an admin character. Basically I just dug a hole down and, well, I got my admin character to turn a tile of dirt into rock, and I use that to open the mine. Normally you would have to go to an exposed rock face. The nearest exposed rock face for me is up the mountain there, because when I generated the map I generated the dirt up a little high, so there's the rock line up there that goes all the way around. It's sort of even around the mountain, so I'd have to go quite a ways up to get to a rock face, which means I'd be too far away from water, clay and sand. Well, at least water and sand. But in here I've got my little mine and my piles of rock shards. That's not how in there. I dug down. When you open up a mine, it'll go down, and then you can tunnel off straight or up and down. I tunneled down, but when I tunneled down, it went down to the water table. There is a maximum you can dig down before you hit water, like here. If I dug down any further, I wouldn't be able to stand in it. I'd end up swimming. I wouldn't be able to mine anymore. So I dug back up looking for some iron, and I did actually find an iron vein right in front of me, and decided to dig to the side and found another one to the right. So that's because I've increased the amount of iron that's in my map. Normally out of all the rock there's 0.5% of all that rock is iron. I put it up to 5%, I think, or 5% of all rock is iron, so there's going to be plenty of iron in my map. Basically I took all the default values and times them by 10. But digging out a mine gets you plenty of rock shards. Rock shards can be used as they are to pave shard roads, or you can use a chisel on these rock shards once you found some iron and create stone slabs. And stone slabs can be used for many things, including paving cobblestone roads, which don't give you, actually they do, they give you a bigger bonus than packed dirt, but all the roads give you the same speed bonus, so it's really a cosmetic choice. But anyway, once you've found iron in a cave and you get plenty of iron ore, the quality of the iron ore depends on your mining skill and also the skill of your pickaxe. This is just quality 1, that's all I had left. I've already smelted a load. It weighs 20 each. You are going to want to smelt it into iron lumps. Each piece of iron ore will give you an iron lump of about 1/10 of the quality, and each lump will weigh 1 kilo. As you can see here, I've got a lump of 8.3 quality with 3.7 kilos left. I did have a lot more, but I've been obviously making things. I made a small anvil. I made the tools, a file, a hammerhead, a butchering knife blade, and a chisel blade. And for all of these, except the hammer, you use a wooden handle on them, which is made from a shaft, and with the carving knife, whereas the iron hammer requires a full shaft. Small iron anvil just requires 2 kilos of glowing iron lump, and I made a bunch of nails for building chests in my house. Right, we shall smelt this ore here. Flint and steel, got my kindling. We'll create a campfire. We'll open it. We'll stick that in. You know what? Since some of these are poor quality, we'll stick these in as well. Along with that. You can only improve tools. I mentioned this in the last video. You can only improve tools up to the quality of the raw material, unless it wants something else, which I don't have. Improving iron items will require water in a jar, which I don't have because I haven't bothered making a pot yet. You see my iron anvil requires tempering with water. You'll also need obviously the iron lump. You will need a whetstone, which you can make with a chisel and a rock shard. And I believe that is it actually. It doesn't require as many different tools as wood. I believe it requires the file as well, but I'm not sure. It does require the hammer. So the problem with you make the small iron anvil, by the way, with the glowing iron lump and the mallet. It's the only iron tool you can make with the mallet. Everything else requires the iron hammer. The problem with the iron hammer is you need a second iron hammer to improve the iron hammer, because you will eventually require hammering the hammer, and of course you can't hammer it with itself. That breaks all laws of physics right there. Just like you can't put a box inside a box in itself, or a carrot. Well, no. You can only do that with a cart. With a cart you can load items into it, and it gives you the choice of. I don't want that one. I want that one. But it also gives you the option of loading itself into the cart. But it obviously errors out and says that you can't actually load the cart into itself. That bear really wants me dead. He's been running around looking for me. When you start a character, when you either die first, the first time you die, or when you log off and back on again, you get newbie mode, which gives you 24 hours of decreased need for food and drink, increased healing, and decreased aggro range. And after the 24 hours is up, you are thrown at the world, and the world likes to throw itself back. I've actually put the chisel in the fire, haven't I? Yes. Waiting for these things to heat up. We'll burn that as well whilst we're at it. In the meantime, we're going to go and look for something to eat. If I can. I haven't actually had my server running for long enough for the grass to grow and for plants and things to grow. So I need to actually make my own field. Most of the area is picked clean. A mushroom. Never mind. Whilst we're waiting for that, we'll just eat that mushroom. The brown mushroom tastes very good, but it's not very nutritious. My nutrition is lowering like a good one. The best form of food is a cooked meal. It's called meal. Requires you to fry some meat in a frying pan. But you can only make a frying pan on a large anvil, and a large anvil requires 20 kilos of glowing iron lump. They're searing hot. Next one will be glowing. Right, anyway, that's how you create iron tools and stuff. Depending on your server, digging through the rock might take longer than it does me. I have it set what it was default to set on a local server, which was at least 21 hits with a pickaxe to break a wall down. Some servers will have it higher. I've seen it at 51. Creative mode has, if you're starting a server in creative mode, that has it at 51, whereas adventure mode has it at 21. Right, our lump is glowing, but nothing else is. So we'll get on to housing. It requires wooden beams. They're not very good quality because of the wood I used. But each wooden beam weighs 15 kilos. I thought they weighed 20, but it requires 20 kilos of wood to make a 15 kilo beam. And to make a house, you need to up your carpentry skill. My skill is at 9, so it's not very good. Not good enough to make a house, unfortunately. But there are ways to improve carpentry quite quickly. The quickest way to do it is create a cart. You probably want a large cart. They're better for running around in. And you can get the crafting recipes from the crafting menu. You just type in large cart, and you need a small wheel axle and a plank to start one to get a small wheel, and also 15 planks, a yoke, 4 small nails and 2 shafts to finish it. A small wheel axle is a wheel and a shaft. A small wheel and a shaft and a second small wheel, and a small wheel is a shaft and a plank with an extra 2 planks and another shaft to finish it off. So it requires quite a bit of wood, but that gets your carpentry skill up quite quickly. And building a house requires at least, you probably want at least 8 in carpentry. That'll get you a 2 by 1 house. Not very big, but with each 4 or 5 carpentry you can add another square on. And I'm outside Kingdom and not in a village, so I can't really protect my house. But there's no one else on the server except me. And as you saw there, to plan a house, you activate the mallet, right click on pack dirt, and you plan building. And that will give you, that's a 1 by 1 room, 4 walls, and to extend it you just right click somewhere else and plan, and it extends it like that. Let's see how far I can plan. Nope, that's as far as I can do it. Now a 1 by 2 house is actually good enough to start with. You can put a door on here, and a bed in here, and a box somewhere, and that'll serve you to start with. You will be able to extend the house later. Once you've finished it, you just right click next to it with the mallet, and I believe it's you can either plan building or it will say extend building. So let's go ahead and finalize this plan just to show you. Once you're happy with the size, you finalize it, and now it's planned. This is my shed because it's only small, so it defaults name to a shed. And they're missing all the walls. To build walls, you have the mallet active, you right click, build, and you've got your list of walls. And because it's only a shed, I can only build wooden walls. To build stone walls, you need a trowel, I think, which is made of metal. I'll build one of those actually, whilst everything's warm. I am not going to combine these 2 lumps into the bigger one because it reduces the quality too much. So they're going to sit there. Good old planes flying overhead, if you can hear that. Right, we want a trowel blade, so we need the hammer. We don't want the hammer, we want the anvil. Get back in there. I forgot what I was doing. Right, trowel blade. Trowel blade. I believe I need this for... Yeah, well, we'll make it anyway. You start off with a rake and everything. Scissors, you need 2 scissor blades to make some scissors. Scissors is for improving cloth items. Fishing hook for making a fishing rod and catch fish. Carving knife you start with. The butchering knife is better off. You can butcher animals with any sharp object, like a shovel, a pickaxe, and your hatchet or your carving knife. But if you have a butchering knife, you get more. And an awl is for improving leather items. Along with a needle is for creating cloth items and leather items. Pliers is for turning stone buildings into their trimmed version, so it removes the wooden trim around the edges. And a branding iron is for branding animals. You can also build a few weapons. Locks for doors, and other various construction materials. But we have our trowel blade, so we're going to stick that in the fire. No, we're not. We're going to make a handle for it first, that'd help. Carving knife. There we go. Right, let's make the trowel. Hey, you made it first time. Right, trowel. I believe the trowel can make... Yeah, trowel makes stone walls. But I won't actually be using stone. I actually like the look of wood. Plus, I would require a lot of stone. Right, improving items. Since we've got our lump out already, we will improve the butchering knife here. Activate lump. Improve. And I'll do that. And I failed, so we have to repair it before we can try again. Quality can only drop down to 1, so no need to worry about that. Then we actually improve it. But I'm pretty sure I went through all this in the previous episode, so we'll move on. To plan these walls, since I've got some wooden beams, I'll be building my house out of wood. To start building any wall, doesn't matter what the wall, doesn't matter what kind of wooden wall, timber or wooden. I like the timber framed. I think it looks better than the wooden stuff. To build any of this, you need a wooden beam in your inventory. Timber frame, I believe, requires more wooden beams to complete than wood. We'll actually check that. If we build a wooden wall over there in the corner. Oh no, wooden walls actually need a plank to build, so that I'm talking nonsense. Timber frame requires a wooden beam to build. If I build a timber frame wall here, we actually can build a timber frame window. It'll start building and it'll take a wooden beam out of my inventory. Don't know why I'm building a window there. It would have been better off if I built a wall there, but because I'm going to need to remove it at some point. So we'll build a timber frame wall here. We'll build a timber frame window here. This is just starting the plans. And now you get continue, but I will want to remove this one at some point. So we've got a window here. Now let's put a wall here, timber frame wall there, and that'll do for now. I don't know why I actually created that one, so I'm probably just going to end up removing the building anyway. But once you've planned the wall, it becomes a wall plan, and you require, for timber framed, an extra 4 wooden beams, 10 mixed grass and 20 clay. I'm not sure about wooden walls because I haven't got a plank on me, so I'm not sure what that requires for extra. It's probably not as much as timber framed. Probably requires some extra planks and things. But also building your house will get your carpentry up. But I won't be doing that for now because I want to get my carpentry up before I build my house. Actually, I will end up leaving that there because that is actually part of my plan of my house. I'm just going to have to tear this wall down here. Which will be awkward. Never mind. So yeah, that is the gist of it. You build a cart. I would go ahead and build a cart to show you starting it, but might take a little while. Actually, yeah, I'm going to chop down some trees and I'll be back and show you the startings of the cart. So yeah, let's get started with that whilst the campfire's here. I'll pull all this out. My chisel, my lumps, my hammer, I can see it. Right, I'll cut down some trees and we'll get back when I start building the cart. Okay, we've returned. We've got basically all of the basic objects that we need to start. Once you start creating something like a wheel or a wheel axle or a cart, when you first put the two together, when you first put the first two materials together, it becomes an unfinished object in either in inventory or it will drop it for you. The cart will drop it for you. But things like small wheels will become unfinished small wheels in your inventory until you put them back in the crafting window and finish them off. The total list of materials you need will be 22 planks for the wheels and the cart, 7 shafts, 4 small nails and a yoke. A yoke requires 20 kilos of wood, so that requires a 24 kilo log, and that will leave you enough wood to create a plank out of. The rest, let's get some small nails, just a couple of small nails, there we go. So I'll put everything else in there. And to start off the cart, you use small wheel axle and plank, I believe. Yep, there we go. Large cart, 30% chance of making. The higher quality the wheel axle, I think, the larger your chance to make it, so try and make it as best you can. But 30% chance should be good enough, we'll just keep trying. It just damages the small axle quite a bit. It will be fine until it gets to 100 where the axle will break. But once you start building it, damage will disappear. There we go, bam! That's the start of a large cart. I recommend the large cart over the small one because, well, the large one requires more materials. You'll probably fail more often, which will still increase your carpentry skill. It increases fine carpentry rather than just base carpentry. As carpentry covers all carpentry skills. At the moment, creating the basic wooden cart, I've got fine carpentry up to 7 from 0. So to carry on this, you just click on it and add it to crafting window. You can pick it up, but it's not worth it. You just add it and then just feed it the materials it needs. Obviously you have to be close enough to actually work on it. There we go. Basically standing inside of it. Depending on the quality levels of the materials you're using will depend on how successful you are at it. I could actually improve the quality of the yoke, but I don't want to. You can just carry on trying until it goes in. It'll damage the yoke on failure, but obviously not a lot. So depending on how much you fail and depending on your nutrition levels, I think you only actually get a skill bonus of nutrition above 75. So it doesn't matter unless you can actually cook meals. So there's the yoke added. Let's add the nails. You can add an entire stack and it will just feed through the stack. As it goes. You don't need any tools to build a cart. Obviously you need a saw and a carving knife to actually get the materials, and you need some nails, which is the hardest part of creating a cart if you're not near any iron. But you wouldn't be starting to create a cart if you weren't near any iron. That'd be a silly idea. Yeah, we finally added a nail. Fine carpentry is up to 8. As you increase fine carpentry, that obviously increases carpentry as a whole. So that's now 15. So we can extend our house a bit. And although I'm going to have to delete this piece of plan here so that I can actually extend it out, because I put the wall on this bit, well, a window, and that'll end up being a window inside my house, which isn't all helpful. We should actually have enough skill for a 4x4, so if we remove that from the building, which we'll do after we finish creating the cart bit. Done, that's all the nails. I must destroy the walls first, so we'll figure out how to do that some other time. It's not easy destroying walls. It kind of only works if you happen to be inside your own village, then you can destroy the walls. Or have something to destroy the walls with. There's the shafts. Now we just need the no, that was only one of the shafts. Need the other shaft. Keep going. Tell you what, I'll fade out and we'll come back when the last plank's going on. And we'll see if we can find some horses and rope it up. You can drag the cart, you obviously drag it very slowly, so you'd be better off roping some horses to it and driving it with horses. So yeah, we'll be back when the planks are about done. Also, a note concerning the planks. The material that the last plank that is the material of the last plank that goes on the cart will determine the wood type of the cart. And also a note of the quality of the cart. My quality is currently 3. The quality has to be at least 10 before you can actually ride the cart. So if you don't manage to get it above 10 whilst making it, you'll have to improve it before you can get on it. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we've got the last plank going on right about now. Done. Look at that. I actually timed that pretty well. And that is the large cart done. It will finish in the direction you're facing, so that's that done. It's got fine carpentry up to 12 because I didn't actually fail as many times as I thought I was going to. Its quality is 10, just good enough for me to ride. So I can get in it. I can't move because I haven't got any horses. And I have actually taken a look around and there are no horses to be seen anywhere around here. So that'll have to be done later. So now, since we've got a construction of 12, we can add to the building. And we'll add there. This wall's going to stay there because for whatever reason. Probably because I have built a wall. But never mind. How many actually can we go out? Can we add another one? Use add to building. Add to building. How far can we go? Just there. We can now have a 3x2. But we don't want a 3x2 anyway, so. Can we add one here? No, okay. I've only got the carpentry skill for an extra 2 walls on there, so. But yeah, you could expand your house like that. And then yeah, they'll each be 1 by 1, but an expanded house. So if you want to carry on skilling up carpentry, you can make things like, you can make wooden tools like a loom, a rope tool. You can build some boxes if you got with some iron. You need some nails. You can start planning a boat. I probably wouldn't recommend starting to plan a boat this early, but you can. For planning a boat, you'll have to look it up in the crafting menu. I believe you need a stern, which is created out of a felled tree. But to create things out of a felled tree, you need to pick them up. So you need to be stronger, basically. And you can make something like a garbage disposal bin. So you can throw things out. They'll decay quicker than if you just leave them on the floor. And stuff like that. And that'll improve your carpentry. Building the house will mainly improve your carpentry. Building the walls, building the floor, building the roof. If you build it out of wood, you can also build the roof out of thatch. And so yeah, that's going to leave this episode here. I don't think there's much else I can explain other than farming and food, because that's about all I know how to do. I know how to do fighting, but you just sit there and hope that the thing you're killing doesn't kill you before you kill it. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully this was informative and helpful and not too dull. I didn't really have a list of things I wanted to talk about, so I kind of had to make it up on the fly. Please leave a comment down below and tell me what you think. Tell me if you're interested in this game. Tell me whether you're interested in playing it with myself. I mean, I can host this land up on a dedicated server. I don't mind renting one out, and we can put together a little community. It's a big map. It's a 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer squared map. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. Share with your friends. It helped me out a great deal. I very much appreciate it. Share it with people that are struggling with the game, or people you might think would be interested. And you can subscribe for more. And I shall see you all later.